It is obvious. I heard it from reliable source, which I will not call the name now, that 5 senators will be removed from the Senate. Those who did not stand with my brother and my elder brother, my good colleague, distinguished Senate President Akpabio. Those who did not vote for him, 5 of us are going. I am number 1. Ojuzo Kalu will go. They have penciled 5 of us. Take it. They told me that I'm going. Ojuzo Kalu is going, and few others are going because we did not support the emergence of my brother and my colleague Senator Akpabio from emerging the president of the Senate. This is not democracy. The court, we have hope in the court. The court shall be careful. Let us build the country. International community are watching us. You cannot withdraw a ground and the Court of Appeal restore a ground without the lawyers asking for that ground to be restored. The court will restore it and then voided somebody's election, people's mandate on a ground that was withdrawn. If people will be haunted, 5 senators will be removed now because they did not support certain cabal. Mr. President, it's not democracy that you wanted.
A political book to discuss.
Sorry?
I say how you came back is another chapter in our political history.
How I came back from where?
Mr. President, how you returned to the Senate as a senator will open another chapter of great discussion in our political book. Because I was there in the field with you running for president. I never knew how you were able to meander and return and live in some of us. Next time, you must teach me how to do that.
It was easy. It was easy. I was there with you in the field, but after our defeat, my constituents thought they needed me again. And so they asked for me to come back. And it was a torturous journey because we had to go through the courts. I didn't even appeal a judgment that did not give me the contest. The party and the stakeholders in my constituency appealed on my behalf up to the Supreme Court. I refused. So there is nothing magical or remarkable. In fact, you have nothing to learn from what happened. The only thing is, you are determined not to come back. I know if you had wanted to come back to the Senate, you would have even returned quicker than I would have returned.
Okay.
I round up now.
Mr. Senate President, I still say I want to be your student next time because it is more of the more you look, the less you see. My paper, my paper.
Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, especially about the 2023 presidential election that was held on February 25, 2023, and the result controversially announced on March 1st, 2023. And that result, the controversial result, was disputed by Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, and Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party. And they headed to the Presidential Election Petition Court, which delivered its verdict on September 6th and failed to nullify the election of Aswad Bola Ahmed Tinubu as demanded by Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi. Now, Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar, they have now headed to the Supreme Court, which will be the final arbiter on who won the 2023 presidential election. But the fallout of that election has also continued to reverberate in several dimensions. The person you saw in the first video is Elisha Abbo, the sacked Adamawa North senator, who was sacked by the Court of Appeal and was thus removed as a member of the National Assembly and a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. By the sacking, he felt to be, he is no longer a member of the 10th Senate. But that's not the issue here. The issue here is that the allegation, the weighty allegation he made, insinuating that our judiciary have been compromised by the big men in the ruling All Progressive Congress. In particular, you saw how he was categorical in alleging and indicting the Senate President as being responsible for his sack by the appeal court. Now, how did it happen that the Senate presidency could work hand in hand with the appeal court to sack Elisha Abbo? What that tells you is allegation of corruption in the judiciary and in the legislature and in the APC. He did not stop there. He indicated that he's not the only one who is going. And he said that the sin he committed was because he worked against the emergence of Akpabio as the Senate President, and that he is paying a price for supporting the Senate presidency ambition of Kayari. I've forgotten the name of that. From Zamfara State. You know, he worked for the Senate presidency of the former governor of Zamfara State. So because he worked against Akpabio, he is paying a price. And he said he's not the only one paying this price, that he had been told in confidence that 5 of them, members of the ruling party, who voted against Akpabio, will leave the Senate. And he said that the senator representing Adamawa North, Senator Judiciary Okalo, is the next in line to go. And then he kept the rest members on the list to himself. But he was categorical. Judiciary Okalo is next. That they are paying the price for supporting another candidate instead of the candidate of the ruling party and the candidates that was supported by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which is Senator Godswill Akpabio. So how did Akpabio do this? How could Akpabio allegedly do this? You can see his complaint about the judiciary. He said the judiciary, the world is watching you. The world are watching Nigeria. He was categorical about that. What it therefore means is this: he's obviously laying credence to the fear of many Nigerians that the judiciary in Nigeria are unreliable, that they are for the highest bidder, they are for the highest political interests in the country, that they do the biddings of these special interest groups and not the dictates of the law. The other day we had the the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Arewala, said that the court is not influenced by public opinion, that it is influenced basically by the law, that is what determines their judgment. But now, Elisha Abbo is telling Nigerians and the world that is not true. That what determines the judgment is the outcome that those in the top echelon of governance, like the Senate presidency, like the presidency, and what have you, that is what determines the outcome of justice in Nigeria. And we're going to look at it holistically in terms of the fact that Nigerians are putting their hope in the Supreme Court, in the petitions that was filed against the election of Tinubu by Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar. What is the hope of Nigerians who are putting their hope in the judiciary to salvage what they believe is an obvious bad situation? From what he has said, what Elisha Abbo said, you can now know why a whole lot of Nigerians have lost faith in our judiciary. That is why the other day I was reading Dele Momodu in his column. He was talking about the fact that people have already given up hope that this judiciary can salvage the situation, despite the glaring evidence and testimony and deposition from the Chicago State University Registrar, Caleb Westberg, that they know nothing about the certificate that Bola Ahmed Tinubu submitted to the Independent National Electoral Commission, which by that assertion, that deposition, that swearing of an oath, it ought to be the final nail in the coffin of the Tinubu presidency. But will it? Now, it is this kind of situation that makes a lot of people to lose hope in Nigeria's judiciary, that they can be able to deliver, that they can be able to give justice to the common man, that they can truly be said to be the last hope of the common man. Now, the second video you watched is that of former governor of Imo State, Rochas Okorocha. You ask yourself, what is the relationship between these two? The relationship between these two is very interesting. But first of all, let us look at that video and enjoy the comic relief that comes with it. Because I always chuckle anytime I watch this video. But it is relevant to where I'm going to. Now, you can see, Rochas is known for his humorous ways. He can make people crack a lot. And at the validation of the 9th Senate, at the validatory session of the 9th Senate, the senators were one then talking about their feelings and how what they were able to do and as they are leaving the National Assembly. Rochas Okorocha was particular about the Senate President, the 9th Senate President, Ahmed Lawal. You can see he was telling Ahmed Lawal. He said that how did you come back? He said, how you came back is another chapter in our political history. How you came back to the Senate. When he said it initially, the Senate president didn't get him very well. He said, what do you mean? He said, I say how you came back is another chapter in our political history. The Senate president asked, how I came back from where? And the former governor of Imo State, he moved on. He said, Mr. President, how you return to the Senate as a senator will open another chapter of great discussion in our political history book. Because I was there with you in the field, campaigning, running for presidential ticket of the APC. I never knew you were able to meander and return and leaving some of us behind, sort of. He said, next time you must teach me how to do that. Now, the Senate President went on a rigmarole explaining how the whole process was done. But you can see that Rochas Okorocha was not buying into that his explanation. After he said everything, how it happened, how the constituency said they needed him back, and all the blah blah blahs he said there, Rochas was saying he didn't take that seriously because he wasn't buying into that explanation. Rochas said, Mr. Senate President, I will say I want to be your student next time because the less you see, the more how did he put it? It is the more you look, the less you see. He said it is the more you look, the less you see. In other words, he was telling us that it's a magical process. It's unexplainable. Don't even bother to try to explain it to us. You can't explain it. Now, how is this relevant? It is relevant because Senator Akpabio, that Abbo, Elisha Abbo, is accusing for being responsible for influencing the Court of Appeal to sack him, is a beneficiary of what former Senate President Adamawa also benefited. Akpabio also contested for for presidential ticket of the All Progressive Congress. So whatever Adamawa did that helped him to return back to the Senate after competing and failing as presidential aspirant must be similar to what Akpabio also did, because Akpabio did not participate in the primaries just like Adamawa, and they were able to, both of them, maneuver their way after they failed at the presidential primaries of the APC. They maneuvered their way and returned. So how did they do it? How did they do it? Perhaps this explanation by Elisha Abbo has given a clue of how they did it, because Elisha Abbo is alleging that the Senate President has influence in the Court of Appeal of Nigeria, that he could influence them to determine the outcome of matters before them, irrespective of the legal standing of the issue at stake. That the members of the Court of Appeal are ready to do Akpabio's bidding for political reasons and disregard the law. Now, I don't want to bother myself about the matter that eventually consumed his senatorial seat. I'm talking about Elisha, but I'm not bothering myself. Perhaps he truly does not deserve to be there. Perhaps the PDP person deserved to be there, and he has rightly now been declared the winner of the election. But for him, a serving senator, until that verdict was given, to believe strongly that his problem emanated from members of his political party, from the Senate President and those around him. And he believed it so strongly that he called a press conference to express it. And he was categorical that they told him it's like he was aware of even the outcome of the verdict of the appeal court before it was made public, because he was said that he was made aware He was aware that he was going. So perhaps it wasn't much of a surprise to him. He was aware that he was going, and he was powerless to be able to change anything. That's his damnation of Nigeria judiciary should be of great worry to Nigerians as they await the outcome of the petitions that Peter Obi of the Labour Party and Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party filed at the Supreme Court. And that has also been the more reason why Nigerians and the international community should continue to put their eyes on the judiciary of Nigeria. If really Nigerians and the international community want to build a stronger and viral democracy in Nigeria. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.